I'm Nick Clark in the Kenyan wilderness, where there's an extraordinary effort underway to reverse the country's crashing lion population.
And I'm Russell Beard in southern Spain to visit a solar power plant that works even after sunset.
I'm Sergio Quintana in California, learning how earth-friendly farming makes a better glass of wine.
And I'm Sinead O'Shea in Berlin, sharing cars.
East Africa, a stunning, classic landscape, where for centuries the Maasai have herded their cattle, carrying out an ancient tradition. For them, killing lions is a rite of passage. On these ranges, though, something surprising is happening. I'm Nick Clark in the Chulu Hills in the heart of Maasai land, here in southern Kenya, where the eternal battle between man and predator has taken an extraordinary new turn. Lions in this country have crashed to dangerously low levels, but here numbers are actually increasing, and it's all down to one of the lion's oldest enemies, the Maasai themselves. Hunter turned ardent conservationist Richard Bonham has flown, lived and loved the Chulu Hills for half his life. He's a co-founder of the Maasai Land Preservation Trust.
When I first got to the area about 25 years ago, there were lions everywhere. If you didn't see them, you'd see their tracks, you'd hear them at night. And the Maasai were killing them, as they always have done, in spirit, when, retribution, conflict when they possessed their livestock. And then they started poisoning them. They just kill a whole blind at a time. We opened a program on the request of the Maasai to compensate them.
So, here we are at Ranch HQ. Daniel.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Welcome to Orgululu Group Ranch. It's one of the ranches covered by Predator Compensation Fund. We have the banking hall there where the queue is heading, and then we have a small court or a dispute court here.
So all these people outside here, they've all lost cattle due to predators?
Yes, this is the analysis.
So it's very carefully documented.
Yeah.
And here we've got the actual predator column.
Predator.
So you've got hyena, cheetah, hyena, lion, jackal,
cheetah, whatever.
There's a lot of lions.
Yeah.
So everything is cross-checked, right?
Yeah.
And if approved, he hands over the money.
It's okay, then it's hand over the money. Let's meet one of the lion killer, Saruni.
Saruni.
Saruni, he got his name from killing a lion. Once you kill a lion, you are given a new name.
And that's
so
Saruni.
His new name is Saruni, and Saruni means, people, he can help people.
And how did he feel about the moment because he got the first spear in?
And that is the only time you could be recognized as a warrior.
And what does he think now? Because I guess all the young people, the young men now, they want to kill a lion still, but they can't and they shouldn't.
That's when I will say you are a warrior, instead of having your dreads and going to the bush and kill lions.
Right. So a way of life is changing.
In some ways, it's a little bit like, say, asking an English boy or telling an English boy you shouldn't go and play football. We've certainly cracked the elders, the leaders. They now understand it. And so they're telling the boys that this has got to change. So we even got girls now, because part of the deal used to be if you killed a lion, the girls were lining up to be your girlfriend. And the girls are now saying, yeah, you go and kill a lion. We're not interested in you.
Later that day, Daniel shows me evidence that proves the Predator Compensation Fund is working.
This is a male lion because of the nature of the track. It's a bit big and seems like it's alone.
Despite a growing population, actually seeing Chulu lions is rare.
Go ahead.
Meanwhile, the team have heard of a leopard attack.
They knew it's a leopard because a leopard attacked from front, unlike the hyena which attacked from the behind. Right. So you could see the scratches.
So you think he may die?
Yeah, he may die. This is a truck.
And has this leopard caused trouble before? As far
Yes,
as you know?
we've got more than 5 reports in the span of 2 months.
And the question is how the local people deal with this.
We have tried to tell them not to poison, not to spear, to give us time to come and verify their livestock, and we pay them.
But the problem is, of course, the leopard doesn't know anything about compensation.
Yeah.
So he's just going to keep coming back and doing it. It's just going to cost the scheme more and more money, isn't
That's
it?
the problem. If we are able to talk to them and tell them don't attack livestock.
When we look at this concept of the Maasai Land Preservation Trust, what drove you to set it up?
Try and get the Maasai landowners who own this land to have wildlife as the prime source of their income. When that happens, they'll start securing the habitat and they'll look after the animals, as they would their own cattle.
And as we look out at this incredible vista here, how many lions are out there now compared to how it was at its worst?
We think probably there were about 6 or 7 left on this 300,000 acre patch.
Incredible.
And today we're looking at 45, of which 22 are cubs. So
That's just great,
That's
isn't it?
great. You know, if we can get them through, then we're away.
Now, as part of the Trust's work, they have about 120 or so game scouts. Some of them are armed, and they're all on the lookout for poachers, which is pretty endemic in the whole area. That's one of them, is it? Yeah. It transpires this is not a case of poaching for sale, which is still a serious problem throughout Africa.
For this type of young boys, they do for pleasure. They just feel like, throwing spears. It's like kind of training for them, throwing spears and killing wildlife.
And maybe it's a replacement for killing lion because they can't do that anymore.
Probably is.
Just demonstrates how hard it is to drive it out.
Yes. When you kill a lioness, a Maasai Moran, 1, you get a new name. 2nd, you get praise from your peers. Your fellow Morans will be praising you. And thirdly, you command, a lot of girlfriend around. But above all, it is prestige. A Maasai Moran, you have to kill a lion. With plenty of wildlife, we say we're going to get tourism coming up. Most of them will be employed in terms of game scouts, predator scouts, all this sort of, us, members of the ranch, getting employed.
It is 6:30, and we've woken to news of a lion kill that's taken place in the last few hours. Apparently an ostrich was taken, and we're on our way to check it out. One of the lionesses in the pride that made the kill has been fitted with a transmitter, which should identify precisely where the group is feeding. So how far away do you think the lion is?
I think it's maybe about 300 yards from where we're standing.
Really? That close?
Yeah, not far.
Our first glimpse of one of the pride, a male. He's magnificent, isn't he? You can see he's a young lion. He's apparently about 4 or 5 years old because his mane hasn't fully grown yet. And he's sitting there just guarding his kill. No, he's moving. He's chasing the jackal away. The fact that I'm here at all and able to witness this, that we're here to film it, is testament to the success of this project, a project which after all helps both man and beast.
It's one lion, for tourists coming to see. It will buy, the money they get, they can buy many cows. So, in another 3 years, if all goes well, when this cup success, will reach to 80 and 100 lions. And that will be like a proper sustainable lion population that we need.
Ultimately, in this modern world, to keep this wilderness going, you need tourist dollars. Lose the lion, and you lose part of the wilderness, and the whole circle begins to break down. 20 years ago, there were 120,000 lions in Africa. Today, there are around 25,000. The winning efforts in the Chulu Hills are happening in the nick of time.
The problem with renewable energy is the lack of continuous supply. Solar power only when it's sunny, wind power only when it's windy, and wave power when the sea's not too rough. I'm Russell Beard and I've come to South Spain to visit Gemma Solar, the first solar tower power station that can produce electricity 24 hours a day. But in order to get a real sense of the scale of this place, I need to get a little bit higher. Samuel! Wow, my heart is in my mouth a little bit, but it's incredible. And I can't believe I'm flying this plane. So Sam just spotted the tower up ahead, so he said just point at the tower and carry on. Okay, here's Gemma Solar. You can see it just below us now. Thousands of these heliostats, these revolving mirrors. It's just amazing. Feels like we're looking into the future. Photovoltaic is like one of the fastest growing energy sources in the world at the moment, but these aren't photovoltaics, are they?
No, not at all. They are not photovoltaics at all.
So these
Those
are just
glass, are mirrors, and they are reflecting the light on top of the tower.
The reflected sunlight from the 2,650 heliostats combined can generate enough electricity to power 25,000 homes, but only if they're all pointing in exactly the right spot.
Santiago's brought along one of these miniature parabolic mirrors, which I guess is almost like a perfect scale model of your solar tower.
Yes, I mean the tower looks like in the middle of a circle of heliostats, and every heliostat is like, taking a different angle to reflect the light on top of the tower and then to concentrate all the energy on a single spot.
So let me try.
It's going. Yeah, it's going.
Oh wow, you can see it catching fire. It's so sensitive, like one tiny degree out and it stops burning. I mean, this must be the challenge that you're facing.
Exactly. I mean, exactly what we have to be doing. I mean, we have to be very precise in moving the heliostats in the right position to concentrate the light there.
Sunlight is reflected from each heliostat onto a central receiver at the top of the tower. Sodium and potassium nitrate salts are pumped from the cold salts tank up to the receiver, where they absorb the concentrated solar thermal energy, reaching temperatures of up to 565 degrees. The heated salts are then pumped down to the hot salts tank, where they can be stored in a molten state or used to generate electricity via the heat engine.
This is the hot molten salt tank that contains the molten salts at 565 degrees. This is like a big battery, but it's a thermal battery. It's not an electrical battery. In fact, the energy which is accumulated here is enough to continue operating the turbine for 15 hours at full speed.
So this is what distinguishes this place from other solar tower generators around the world. It's actually that storage.
Exactly.
Being able to store energy this way means that solar power can, for the first time, be provided 24 hours a day, not just when the sun's shining.
This is the vessel in which the water becomes steam. Inside you have water at maybe 500 degrees centigrade and already 100 bars of pressure.
This is incredible. So what Santiago's telling us is, despite how futuristic this all looks, the actual business end, where they create the electricity, is much the same as any other coal-fired or even nuclear power plant. So see, it's a steam-driven power plant. Wow! Wow! This is what I'm talking about. Now this looks like a power station.
And it is.
This technology has been around for hundreds of years, yeah?
Yep.
And so it's really out there is the only sci-fi part of this building. By the time the power comes down from the molten salts, we're talking about good old-fashioned steam turbines, and that's what we can hear now. And you can even see it coming out of the little chimney at the top.
The International Energy Agency projects that the overall contribution of concentrated solar power could be 11% of global electricity demand by 2050.
we are going to be reducing our costs, but also due to the fact that the oil prices are going up will make it impossible to burn gas to produce electricity. And then our plants will continue to be delivering cheap and clean energy to our children, let's say.
About 13% of man-made global greenhouse gas emissions come from agriculture, mostly from the use of chemicals. Agrochemicals such as pesticides and fertilizers are also one of the major causes of biodiversity loss. I'm at Schaefer Vineyards in California's Napa Valley, where sustainable farming practices have been integrated into the cultivation of their wine. Practices which boost biodiversity by making chemicals a thing of the past.
We're pretty fortunate. We're up here in one of our hillside Cabernet vineyards. These grapes go into our Hillside Select, which is our top Cabernet.
Can I have one?
You can have as many as you like.
All right.
Well, just one cluster. I gotta save some for the wine.
The problem with growing award-winning grapes is that bugs appreciate them too. Every year, we spend about $40 billion globally on pesticide use in agriculture. Here, though, with a jungle of crops planted between the vines, Doug and his team encourage greater biodiversity where predatory bugs like spiders dominate pest insects.
We'll plant cover crop right when we harvest the grapes, which is September, October. And the winter rains come, the cover crop grows up, and you'll have a stand next spring, April and May, of about this high, and we'll mow it down once, twice. We might disc it in, depending on the age of the vines, depending on how much rain we've had that year. But basically, you know, use that cover crop as it dies off to help build up the organic components. Let's go see the rest of the vineyards.
All right.
Well, we've got our 55 acres, mostly hillside Cabernet, irrigation ponds, which are filled by rainwater in the winter. This one is also where we recycle the water from the wine cellar. And then we have our array of solar panels. We're 100% solar powered.
And that's just because why not?
What do you mean, why not? It's smart. We live in California.
Okay.
The sun's out. Come on.
I got a hat.
Just releasing the clutch. Let the clutch out slow.
So David, what are we planting here?
We're planting a legume cover crop mix. It grows up over the winter, and then we'll plow it in next spring to incorporate the organic matter into the soil. Definitely, we're improving the soil health, but we are also getting erosion control benefits out of it, definitely.
Erosion?
Yes. Plants cover the soil. They germinate a little bit sooner than the native grasses do, a little broader leaves, and therefore when the rains come, the early rains, it disperses the energy of the rainwater to protect the soil early in the season.
There's just one pesky problem that Schaefer found out about the hard way. A crop this fresh and plentiful is just perfect if you're a hungry gopher. No problem for Schaefer though, they've made a deal with some birds of prey.
We have hawk perches for the hawks and the other raptors and whatnot.
Those, the big posts?
Yeah, those are the posts up in the field. And the other thing we have out here is we have owl boxes for barn owls. We're gonna have to go up and clean it out.
Really?
How bad is it? This is like a bio suit.
So do I just shove this shovel in and plow stuff out?
Yeah, that's about all there is to it. Tell me when.
All right. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. Oh,
how's it looking there?
You weren't kidding. There's a lot of crap in here. Oh, look at that. There's actually a little skull of something.
Good. That means our owls are doing their job.
Yeah, they're working.
So the biodiversity that you guys introduced was good for the gophers. That's why you guys have this fleet of owls and hawks.
Exactly, yeah, because it's pretty good habitat for gophers. So instead of using chemical and different poisonous baits, we use barn owls. An adult barn owl will eat one gopher a night. The chicks can eat 2 or 3 in a night. One box might do more than 1,000 in a year.
Wow. You've been doing this now for how long here?
27 years.
All right.
When I first started here in the early 80s, the juices would be deficient in nitrogen and other minerals and so forth. And And so the fermentations would not be very happy. So as we started this sustainable agriculture, the nitrogen in the juices is actually increased. And so that's a good thing.
So basically you guys have a happy vineyard and a better grape.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm pouring some 2006 Hillside Select. This is our flagship wine. It's made from our Hillside vineyards.
I was just up there.
Yeah.
So with all you guys are doing, can you honestly say this is a better glass of wine?
Yes, the vines look happier, the grapes are happy, and I'm happy because it makes my life easier.
Cheers to that.
Transport account for up to a quarter of our carbon emissions, a major contributor to climate change. I'm Sinead O'Shea, and I'm in Berlin to tell you about a scheme that's going to do something about this.
Since Carl Benz invented the modern automobile in 1885, Germans have always loved their cars.
But in a move that may have profound consequences for the rest of us, this seems set to change.
Car sharing schemes are happening worldwide, but in Germany, which has the largest number of users in Europe, they're really taking off.
Hello.
They can be organised on the internet or in person.
She now told me where the car is, and she gave me this card to open it. So here's the card.
Okay.
And the key is inside.
So as you can see, it's a pretty straightforward system, which I think is a big part of the appeal, yeah?
Yes, I think so. It's cheap, cheaper than our known car, and it's easy to get one if you need one.
So how important to you is owning a car?
It's not important. You don't need a car anymore nowadays.
The preferences of people like Angelo have not gone unnoticed by Germany's major car manufacturers. BMW are now producing models specifically for the car-sharing market.
So we have a look at one of our apps. You can then say, okay, I'm down here somewhere. It's going to take me about 5 minutes to walk up here. So you just say, off you go. Okay. So what you have to do is you press the start button, then you type in your personal PIN number. Then it's going to ask you how clean is the interior of the vehicle. So you have a look around. No more key needed. You just get in, you type all the data in the little computer, and then you press the start engine, and as you see, it just starts.
Don't you feel that it might lead to people just not buying cars anymore?
Well, if it leads to that, at the end of the day, then it will be something which is not only BMW facing. Every car manufacturer is confronted with this. I think that from the strategic point of view, it's better to start something now instead of running behind a certain trend.
Car sharing significantly reduces carbon dioxide emissions. We make fewer journeys when we don't own cars, and each shared car replaces between 4 to 8 that are individually owned. Shared cars are also smaller and newer. In Germany, their CO2 emissions are 21% lower than those of the average German car.
Hello!
Dr. Frank Wolter is an electricity enthusiast. He believes electric car sharing is the next step in this transport revolution.
Does it not take loads of energy to charge the car, though?
No, it's not that much. It's not the amount of energy, it is the speed of loading. The battery normally is about a 100 to 150 kilometers range, and if that costs about €3 and you compare it to combustion, to petrol, which is here 150 a liter, and a normal car takes 7 or 8 liters in the city, you see that is much cheaper.
Yeah, much cheaper, But are the cars more expensive?
The cars are more expensive, but here the sharing concept is you don't buy the car. You share the car with many other people.
Okay.
To feed it, you go here, and then you can plug it in.
Okay.
And now the car is charged.
Is it different to drive?
It is a different feeling.
Okay. Well, let me have a go. I'll drive in the future.
The age of the car, the age of oil, these epochs are changing. Maybe not fast enough, but with car sharing, we're at least on the right road.
Today was 15, gusting up to sort of 25.
So it was a pretty calm day?
Oh, pretty calm day, yeah.
Right. Okay.